Hello, my impatience. It is I, Andrew the Android Koloski here. So, my question for you is I think it's pretty obvious my stepfather was a sexual sadist who was getting off sexually from my pain and suffering, correct? My stepfather was torturing me? It's pretty apparent. Can somebody just confirm and corroborate that? That my stepfather was getting off sexually from my pain and suffering? And I was being tortured by my mother and stepfather? Well, I mean, just take accountability. Just admit it. Just admit my stepfather got off sexually from torturing me. So I'm going to start off with somebody who I have firsthand evidence, got off sexually. So I was chatting with this dominatrix on OnlyFans who calls herself Mama. She's degrading me. Mama is bullying me. Dr. Natural says, this is incestuous. Is that a problem for you? Mama is not my actual mother, and she's the only woman who's shown interest in years. I'm lonely. Dr. Natural says, so you're letting this mama get off sexually to your suffering because you're lonely? And the answer is yes. Yes, I am. Then there's this one. I say, my mother, stepfather, and father got off sexually from my suffering? They are monsters? Dr. Natural says, it is not a credible idea that your mother, father, and stepfather are sexually aroused by your suffering. When you feel the constraints of your life, you blame your parents by bringing charges of sexual perversity. You really are suffering, but your parents are not sexual fiends. So, this is pretty much something I've gone over time and time again. Were my mother and stepfather getting off sexually from my pain and suffering? According to Dr. Garrett, they were not. Somebody says, no, they weren't. You were delusional. Was my stepfather bullying me? Was my stepfather torturing me? Somebody says, tell your social worker about this. Pizza Pasta says, no. Your stepfather was not getting off sexually from your pain and suffering. So I'm going to share with you some photographs I took today, and I think it really illustrates the toggle switch of delusion. Interestingly enough, but it just coincidentally happened to take place when there was So this picture obviously is me with a serious expression on my face. The sun was obscured by clouds, and you can see I'm serious. I'm like, the classic pose, as they say. And somebody says this is an insane pose. This is like the death stare. This is like the stare where I'm like, are you torturing me? This is, I guess, emotional Andrew. And then there's this one. The sun comes back out. I'm happy, chipper, lovey-dovey, happy. So this is the contrasting happy version of me when the switch gets toggled back off. So I think that was a cool. Somebody says this is fake. No, it's not fake. These are real photographs. It's artistic photographs, but somebody says it's not a real smile. Somebody says you're faking the smile for the camera. All right, fair enough. Somebody says, what's your artistic vision with these pics? Somebody says, I want to see the Andrew one-man show. I want to see the Andrew Truman show. Yeah. So, I hear the thunder and lightning outdoors. It's about to be a thunderstorm. It's July, the month I was born. I was born during a thunderstorm. I am the god of thunder. I can summon the thunder and lightning. I'm going to tell you what triggered the emotional tsunami. I saw a photograph. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't fucking matter. I just think I was being bullied by my cousins, aunts, uncles, stepfather, mother, and they were all getting off from giving me PTSD and torturing me. That's basically what I think. I think I was being tortured by my family, especially my mother's side. Is that true? Somebody says toggle that emotional switch to off. I want them to take accountability, but apparently there's nothing for them to confess to. Somebody says, what did your cousins do? Well, they were young, but I think I was being tortured by my family. I think I was being tortured, and they were trying to kill me like the Blue Blazer from the WWE while creating a facade they weren't. I think they were trying to murder me. Is that the truth? Apparently, it's not. Somebody says, "Well, you aren't dead." Somebody says, "Nope, this is not the truth. You're delusional. You're having an emotional tsunami." Yeah, I guess I was just listening to my mother and stepfather rant and rave and scream and shout. And I was getting paranoid. They sadistically sabotaged my life for intentionally. Somebody says, "What's ruining your life is your delusions." Somebody says, "What were they ranting about?" I don't even know. I just avoid them. They were just ranting and raving in their high emotion, high energy. I thought they were getting off sexually to my pain and suffering. They say, "You're the only one getting off, Andrew. When you feel the constraints of your life, you blame your parents by bringing charges of sexual perversity. But I am suffering, but no one's getting off to my suffering. Except maybe Mama from OnlyFans." Yeah, Mama from OnlyFans is literally getting off to my pain and suffering. But my parents are not. Somebody says, "Have you considered that your father might be really dying of cancer and that's what they're upset about?" That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I saw like a photograph on social media of like a Yorkie getting afraid of fireworks. And I think it said, "Loud, yappy dickhead suddenly afraid when fireworks go off." I started to think, my stepfather intentionally traumatized me, and my entire family was making fun of me that I was getting traumatized by my stepfather. And they were trying to give me PTSD, and they were trying to kill me. And that they were getting off sexually. That's what triggered it, really. Somebody says, "This is ideas of reference and predicate logic. My imagination is crazy. Nobody was trying to hurt me." But yeah, well, it looks like we're about to get a thunderstorm. Should I go to the supermarket and get a beer? Probably not. I don't want to become an alcoholic. That's the last of my problems. I'm bored. I don't know what to do. Art class was canceled this evening, believe it or not. Rossi says, "Yes, go get a beer." Pizza Pasta says, "I'm drunk right now." Somebody says, "Go get a giant beer and come back here." Taylor says, "You would be a cool alcoholic." Gordy says, "Only one beer cell? One beer doesn't make you an alcoholic." Yeah, like Erie said, she likes to have a glass of wine with dinner. I like to have a Coors Light or a Bud Light with dinner. Somebody says, get some vodka. Somebody says, one beer doesn't even get you drunk. Marijuana Therapy says, I drink myself piss drunk every night. Literally, you're good. Gordy says, I drink like 7 beers a day and I'm not an alcoholic. Fair enough. Fair enough. I have like one Tall Boy beer once or twice a week. So I mean, somebody says that's rookie numbers. Somebody says that's rookie numbers. And I still try to hide it from my mother because I don't want her catching me with the beer. Somebody says, go get a beer, bro. It's a holiday. All right, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I need it tonight. Somebody says, you're 37 years old. Do what you want. Should I get hard seltzer or should I get a beer? Hard seltzer might be cool. What's lower calorie? Somebody says, get some vodka. No, I don't want to go too crazy. I'm on Abilify 10 milligrams. So I don't want to go too wild. I think 1 or 2 beers will be fine, but somebody says, get a 6-pack of natural ice. Yeah, maybe it's a night where I get a beer. But then again, maybe not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe for the 4th, I'll have a beer. I'll get a beer tomorrow. I'll do a drinking stream tomorrow. Tonight, I'm just going to take it easy. Maybe I'll get a crumble cookie or a Cold Stone ice cream. Tomorrow, I'll get a beer. Somebody says, just go and get 1 beer. A 6-pack. Well, the night's almost over. Yeah, I guess I could get a beer. I don't know. I drank on Tuesday, believe it or not. Somebody says, it's 6 p.m. Somebody says, the night is young. Go get a beer, Andrew. I guess I could go to the supermarket and get a beer. Tomorrow, I promise. I'm not going to do it tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to get a beer. Tonight, I'm just going to take it easy. I was just getting persecutory delusions anyway, so maybe tomorrow I'll get a beer. I'm not going to do it tonight. Saw says, oh, I wanted to see Andrew drunk tonight. Or not drunk, buzzed. It's not really drunk, but a buzzed Andrew tonight. Somebody says, go get a crumble cookie. That's a good idea. I could go get a crumble cookie. Pizza Pasta says, boo, you're just eating a cookie. That's boring. They're throwing tomatoes at me. You're just eating a cookie. Somebody says, we want a drinking stream. Oh, I introduced it. Like in a movie, when you introduce something, everybody wants to see it come to fruition. Everybody wants to see me get a beer tonight. Everybody wants to see me get a beer tonight, it looks like. Nah, I don't think so. Not tonight. Marijuana Therapy gave me a heart. I'll give you a heart too, Marijuana Therapy. La 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 la. Marijuana Therapy says, all right then, go get some fentanyl. No. Hey, Kid Wizard, how you doing? How you doing, Kid Wizard? I'm not going to give in to the peer pressure. I'm not going to drink tonight. Oh, I hear the thunder out there. Oh, no, it's a plane. It's an airplane. It's not thunder. We got Wiz in the house. How are you, Wiz? We got Kid Wizard. Kid Wizard says he's doing good. He's editing a spicy scene and he's going to post it later. Kid Wizard creates spicy content. Very cool. Very cool. Hell yeah. You're located in Canada? Spicy content. He says, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ah, that's too bad. That's too bad. I was wondering if you could, find me, somebody who wants to collaborate on spicy content in New York. That'd be pretty cool, but a lady who wants to create spicy content with me would be a cool thing. La 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 la. Oh yeah, there's a new feature. It's the top fans feature. We got some new features here. It's kind of neat. Kind of neat. Kind of neat. All kidding aside, guys, if you have one beer and you start doing it like every other night, is that becoming kind of an alcoholic? I mean, all kidding aside. Because I don't want to. So he says no. I don't want to develop a drinking problem. But I'm kind of bored tonight. Somebody says alcoholism is having like 8 drinks regularly per week. Kid Wizard says I try not to drink more than twice a week. Yeah, I'm going to abstain. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. Kid Wizard, do you know any social media content creators in Long Island, New York, who would want to collaborate on spicy content, or New York City? Or not really? You don't know anybody in this area. Somebody says, talk to Rusty. Rusty might know somebody. Somebody says, yeah. All right. Somebody says, Kid Wizard says he works mostly with Canadians, but one trip to find potential creators is search. Okay, you search a bunch of websites. All right, fair enough. He only knows the Canadian spicy content creators. Somebody. What is FMTYNYC mean? What does that mean? Oh, it says fly me to you, New York City. It's used by models. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. All right. All right, guys. I think I've. So he says, have you tried Plenty of Fish? I'm on some dating apps. I'm on Bumble. I'm on Facebook dating. I'm on some dating apps at the moment. All right. Somebody asks, what do I think of TikTok? It's kind of cool. I mean, I like the video recommendations. There's some cool things about TikTok. But I know it's owned by the Chinese government, or at least there's a Chinese government tie in there. Gordy says he used Hinge and he's in a relationship for 3+ years. Hey Gina, how are you doing? How are you doing, Gina? How art thou? So he says Hinge is good for finding an actual romantic partner. All right, guys, I think I'm going to hit the bricks, hit the dusty trail. Thanks for watching. Peace out.